parts and belongings inside the trolley at all times. No smoking, vaping, or consumption of alcohol. Conversations to a minimum, so everyone can hear the talk. Also, cellular phone use. Now, on or off the trolley as many times as you wish. Stay on the trolley all day if you wish. But keep in mind, last trolley leaves stop number 1, 4:30 this afternoon. Now, they do run about every 15-20 minutes. If you get off to have lunch or a museum or whatever, just coordinate your timing. Now, they only stop at the designated stops that are on your map. In other words, you can't flag them down in the middle of the street, they're not going to stop. Or once they're in motion, they're not going to stop either. Now, if you have your ticket on a piece of paper or a cellular phone, when we get to stop 1, they'll come up to the trolley, they'll scan that, and give you a sticker. Put on your clothes. That's good for all day. Also, if you came to stop 1 by shuttle today from the hotel, they'll arrange your shuttle to take you back to your hotel. Also, if you join the tour midway, in other words, you just got on at the cathedral or wherever, when we get to stop 1, you just stay on the trolley, and you can get off where you got on. Good that way, that's an option. Or you can get off at every stop if you want. Now, we're going to take a right up here to get to the oldest house. We'll be there in a few minutes. But as we get up here a little bit, if you look on our right, you'll see a Via Street. Now, Via Street is the oldest street in the United States. And that's right up here on our right. It's with pillars and the roof on top of Via Street. And again, that's the oldest street in the United States. Also down about half a block is the Spanish Military Hospital Museum. That's a neat museum if you wish to take that in later. Now, again, the oldest house is stop number 15. Now, from there we go to 16, that's the marina. 17 is the fort, Castillo de San Marcos. 18, Ripley's, believe it or not. 19, Welcome Center. 20, Mission. 21, Old Senator. 22, Mountain View. Now we get back to stop 1, and everything starts back over again. Now, if you look to our left, that's Anastasia Island out there. And you'll see the lighthouse. That's that black white structure out there. It was built in 1874. That's the second highest lighthouse in the state of Florida. There was one prior to that, but it kind of eroded and fell into the ocean. But if you go out to Anastasia Island, take that lighthouse door, it's only 219 steps to the top, so if you're feeling energetic and want some exercise, go for it. Now, 1702, Governor Moore, South Carolina, he started to burn down St. Augustine, but the folks back then took refuge in the fort. But I'm going to take a right here to get to the oldest house. But as I mentioned earlier, if you're with me or not, but I'll say it again, way back then, St. Augustine was only about 23 blocks in size. It kind of ended right here. This was the southern part. Then it went north to where city gates are, stop number 4. But of course, that was centuries ago also. But the first family to come here and build the oldest house was the Gonzalez Alvarez family. They built the oldest house here in 1702. Now, if you are going to exit here to the right only, and backwards, holding on to uprights and grips. Now, the oldest house is the structure on our right. It's the white structure with the green shutters and doors. People get confused because they see the oldest house sign ahead of us. But all this other stuff was added on over the years. They didn't have bricks in 1702, so a lot of that stuff was added on. Also at the corner, you'll see the Tovar house. That was built 1763. But again, the oldest house is the structure to our right. And you'll see it. We're going to turn around here and you'll see it coming back again there. And here we go. Our next stop is number 16, and that's the marina. And as I mentioned earlier, if you walk or drive around St. Augustine, you just see hundreds of old homes, early 1900s, 1800s, 1700s. Not unusual to go up one street and see 3 centuries of architecture. But again, St. Augustine is the oldest city in the United States. Now, the structure coming up here on our right was called, or is called, St. Francis Barracks. That also was burnt down in 1702. But the original structure was wood and only about the size of the oldest house. When the city did this remake, they decided to make a concrete block and make it much larger because now it's headquarters for the Florida National Guard. You'll see their sign here in a minute. But St. Augustine was under 5 different flags. First being Spanish, of course. Second, British, American Revolutionary War. Third, Spanish again, Treaty of Paris. Fourth, Confederate. Fifth, American, as we are today. So over the centuries, we really had 5 different flags. As we're heading north here, you get a great view of Bridge Alliance over there. That was built in 1927. Drawbridge, oldest drawbridge in the United States. And that connects St. Augustine with Anastasia Island. Now, if you can see that little wall on our right on the other side of the parked car, that was the original seawall to protect the area to our left. That didn't work out too well, so the Army Corps of Engineers built that outer wall in the 1970s. Since that time, there's been nothing catastrophic as far as flooding or anything of that nature. Now, our next stop is 16, that's the marina. You can arrange for tours by boat, also if you want to take a fishing trip. But if you look to our right, where the boats are docked, you'll see that replica pirate ship there. That's called the Black Raven. That goes out once or twice during the day, and also at night. That's a neat tour, but you have to call them directly, and it's called the Black Raven. Now, I'm going to stop up here in a moment, and this is stop number 16. This is the marina. And if you do wish to exit here to the right only, backwards holding on to uprights and grips, and I'll ring the bell when it's safe. So you can exit here if you want, because the sign's just like 50 feet in front of us, so if you want to exit, you can exit here. Then our next stop after this is going to be number 17, and that's the port, Castillo de San Marcos. But, you know, the bridge tender likes to raise that bridge about every 5 minutes, it seems, and it snarls all the traffic in every direction. But anyway, while we're stopped here, again, our next stop is 17, that's the port, Castillo de San Marcos. Now, to explain about that, there were 9 wooden forts prior to the Castillo being built. The 9th fort was burnt down by the pirate Robert Serra. The Queen Regent of Spain said, you know, enough's enough already, so she commissioned construction of the Castillo, primarily made of coquina blocks that were harvested on Anastasia Island to our right. The coquina blocks were about as big as the window on this trolley and about 48 inches thick. But it took approximately 450,000 blocks to make up most of the fort. But coquina that size takes 1 to 3 years to cure. So they started the fort in 1672, and it wasn't completed until 1695. It took a total of 23 years. But since 1695, it was never taken in battle, and it's the largest masonry fort in the United States. Now, it's 329 years old. Now, it is a national port. So if you are a veteran, you get in for free. And when we get into the parking lot, I'll show you where you would purchase tickets if you have that interest. Now, all the water on our right, that's Matanzas Bay, formerly called Bay of Dancing Dolphins. Pretty much assure you, if you take a walk along that waterfront for about 20 minutes, you'll see dolphins jumping out of the water somewhere. Also, way out to the right, that's where the Army Corps of Engineers dredged an opening to the Atlantic Ocean in the 1940s. So you go right from the bay here out to the ocean within minutes. Also, way out to our right, you'll see that bridge out there. That's the bridge to Anastasia Island. It's a residential area, but they do have public beaches out there that are very pretty. It's like sugar white sand out there, and it's very nice. But there are public beaches if you have that interest. Now, as we get up here a little bit, you're going to see that wood structure directly in front of us. That's where you would purchase tickets if you wish to take a tour of the fort. Now, it is a self-guided tour, but you can also arrange for a guided tour if you wish also. But I'll be stopping up here for a moment, and if you are going to exit here, to the right only, and backwards, holding on to uprights and grips. And I'll ring the bell when it is safe. Next stop after this is number 18. That's Ripley's.
I just haven't gotten my sticker yet.
That's all right. When you get to one,
Yeah, at the jail.
Yeah, then they'll scan that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, be careful getting off. Now, our next stop is number 18. And that's Ripley's, believe it or not. And we're going to head there in just one moment. All right, here we go. Now, you'll see that white stuff on the fort. Katina is porous. So at one time they had the bright idea to plaster the whole fort. At one time, the fort was totally white, but that all fell off over the many years, and it's still some of the stuff that still lingers there. Now, also, the fort had a moat on three sides. It's what you call a dry moat. That's where they kept animals and so on for food. But we're going to head on to stop 18, and that's Ripley's. On our left coming up is Pirates Museum. They have over 600 artifacts. They have the only known pirate treasure chest in the world. One of 3 Jolly Roger flags. They have one section dedicated to pirate architecture. Also, coming up on our left in just a moment, you're going to see city gates. That's that masonry structure there. Now that was the north side of St. Augustine at one time, 1702. And where we stopped at the oldest house, that was the southern part of St. Augustine. So that kind of gives you a perspective just how big St. Augustine was way back. Now, I'll be pulling in here to stop number 18. And that's Ripley's, believe it or not. Now, Ripley's originally was a house built by William Worden. He was silent partner with Flagler and Rockefeller and the Standard Oil Company out of Cleveland, Ohio. Built this as his primary residence in Florida. Did a lot of contributions, particularly for stoves. But 1941, Marjorie Rowlings and her husband bought the structure and turned it into a hotel. Marjorie Rawlings won Pulitzer Prize 1939 for her book Yearling. And she lived nearby here in Ocala, Florida. And it was eventually made into a movie, 1945, Gregory Peck. Now, when it was a hotel, Ripley stayed here several times. He liked St. Augustine and wanted to buy the building, but Rawlings would not sell. 2 years later, Ripley died. And years after that, around 1950, the heirs to the Ripley fortune got together with Rawlings, came up with a compromise, and Ripley's got the building, thus the first in the world. It contains a lot of oddities, two-headed cat, world's tallest man, things like that, but it does have 3 floors of items you'd probably enjoy. Now that horse on our left in the corner there, that's totally made of car bumpers. But I'm going to stop here for a moment if anybody does wish to exit here, to the right only. And again, backwards, holding on to uprights and grips. And I'll ring the bell when safe. Our next stop is number 19, and that's the Welcome Center. All right, we're going to head over there now. Next stop, 19, Welcome Center. Now, 1964 World's Fair closed. 1964 World's Fair closed. They had a replica statue of Michelangelo's David. Now, as you may or may not know, Michelangelo sculptured David, natural state, in other words, naked. When they got it down here, they put it on the street, but it caused a lot of commotion, gawkers, minor car accidents, and so on. The city said either do something or get rid of it. They put a toga around it. That didn't work. People were lifting up the toga. But if you look to our right, you came up with the idea of the hedge. If you look to our right, there's David back there behind that hedge. And if you want to go see David, natural state, you just go through that little entryway, and there he is back there. And that is an exact replica of Michelangelo's original David. Now, our next stop is 19. That's the Welcome Center. Now, again, you can purchase discount tickets to attractions in the city. And you do save about 30%, so if you're contemplating, various museums, check it out. There's no obligation. But if you can save 30%, why not? Also, if you're interested in the Ghost and Gravestone tour, that takes place out of Stop 19. And it's a nightly tour, and you have to make reservations. And we'll be there in just one moment. After that, we go to 20, which is the Mission Nombre de Dios. 21, Old Senator. 22, Fountain View. Then we get back to stop 1. Everything starts back over again. All right, now this is stop 19, the Welcome Center. Now we are going to exit here to the right only and backwards, holding on to uprights and grips. I'll ring the bell when safe. All right, here we go. Next stop is number 20. That's Mission Nombre de Dios. Now, for those joining us, welcome to Old Town Trolley. My name's Alan. Please remain seated while the trolley's department Body parts and belongings inside the trolley at all times. No smoking, vaping, or consumption of alcohol. Conversations to a minimum, so everyone can hear the talk. Also cellular conference. Now, on or off the trolley as many times as you wish. But keep in mind, last trolley leaves stop number 1 at 4:30 this afternoon. But they do run about every 15-20 minutes. So if you get off to have a bite to eat or a museum or whatever, just coordinate your time. They only stop at the designated stops that are on your map. In other words, you can't fly them down, no restriction. Now, this area here is called Uptown San Marco. This was developed by Lucy Abbott. She came here after the Civil War, purchased all this property north of the port. Built 129 homes, which 124 still exist. Some are on the main thoroughfare, but most are on the side streets, in particular to our left. But it's a neat little area. They have a variety of little gift shops there. You get coffee, ice cream, little restaurant coming up on our right that serves breakfast and lunch on Sunday. Also a pizza place coming up on our left, Burritos. But it's a neat little area. You know, if you have any interest, take a walk and take in the various stores. Now, also coming up on our right, you're going to see the Great Cross that was donated in 1965 to commemorate the 400th anniversary. Pedro Menendez landing there September 8th, 1565. The Great Cross is on our right. And that's where it all started. Now, the cross is 208 feet high, weighs approximately 70 tons. They kept it at 208 because if they would have went another couple of feet, they would have had to put a beacon on it for aircraft. But this is Stop 20, Mission Operate Details, which basically in English means name of God. Also inside here is the National Shrine to Our Lady of Guadalupe. On the other side of the church, there's a little gift shop and museum. But they have about 17 acres of property back there, very pretty. You know, if you're up to it, want to take in the natural setting. On the other side of the cross here is the bayfront. And if you go across that little bridge there to the left, there's a cemetery there that contains Civil War tombstones. But I'll stop here for a moment. If anybody does wish to exit to the right only, backboard holding on to our right cigarette. Now, if you can't get on, there'll be another trolley about 7 minutes behind me. But if you get on, great. All right. I'm kind of twisted here. Is everybody on? I can't see. No? It's still getting on, or? Everybody on? Okay, here we go. Next stop is 21. That's the old senator. Now, the old senator, probably the oldest living thing in St. Augustine. But now, what it is, it's a live entry. And as you probably know, in order to determine the age of the tree, typically you have to cut it in half to count the rings. Each ring represents 1 year of life. But arborists were here years ago. They burrowed into the core of the old senator. They estimate that it's approximately over 600 years old. Normal lifespan of a live oak is 300 to 350, so the old senator is not over. And you'll see that the base of the tree is huge. You know, for a live oak, I mean, it's not a redwood or anything, but for a live oak category, it's pretty well used. Also, branches that only be going out another 100 feet. Now, if you have your ticket on a piece of paper or a cellular phone, when we get to stop one, they're going to come out and scan that, give you a sticker to put on your blouse. So if you came to stop one by shuttle today from the hotel, they'll arrange for a shuttle to take you back. Or if you joined the tour midway, just got on at the Welcome Center or the port or wherever, when we get to stop one, there'll be a new driver, and all 22 stops start over again. So you just stay on the trolley and get off where you got on. That's an option. You can do it that way. We got a little speed bump here. You can get a little rattle here for a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
All right, that old senator, that's right here on our right-hand side. As you can see, for a live oak, many of you are familiar with live oak trees. That's pretty well used. All right, here we go. Next stop is 22. That's the fountain view. Now, I'm going to take a left up here on Magnolia Street. And you're going to see there's very few magnolia trees. But the street is basically lined with live oak. And I'll take the left slow because the way the trees have grown from either side give it a canopy type effect. Very pretty street. Also, you see that stuff hanging from the trees and also the wires. They call that Spanish moss. But not Spanish, not moss. It's really an air plant, and it's a derivative of the pineapple. But if you're tempted to pick it up or cool it down, I don't recommend it because sometimes they have little no-seeing chiggers. And if you have a scratch on your hand, get in there, give you a little problem. Nothing earth-shattering, but you got to get an ointment to extract them. Like I said, I'll take this left slow, and if you look down to our left, a very pretty street. Got a canopy type effect. And a little cooler here too with the, with the trees. Yeah, there you go.